Yeah, I'm Connor with Movie Death Blows, and Paul, it's really awesome to be here and meet you.
Hello, mate. Don't you look lovely?
Thank you.
You get all dolled up for the interview.
It's my 9 to 5.
Nice. You got to take pride in your appearance at work.
Oh, I do.
That's why I wear a wetsuit.
Yeah, that's why you wore the fake arms for your
Yeah.
special this year. Speaking of which, I know you were in the Navy. I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself, so
Right.
I was wondering while you were in, and that's when the attack happened. While you're doing that swimming exercise, since that's happened to you, have they taken any extra precaution while they're doing those exercises?
Yes. They introduced a shark risk calculator.
And how effective is that?
No one's been bitten since, but no
Well,
one, no one had been bitten for 50 years before me in Sydney Harbour. So it was just kind of like this thing that they didn't even introduce tourniquets for another 6 or 7 years after that. So, mate, this is the military. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
They're bloody useless most of the time.
yeah. They do
Thankfully,
a
my
good
mates
job.
were there, and their training kept me alive.
Yeah, I have a friend here who is a Navy SEAL, and he said he ran in didn't any bad encounters, but did run into a few during his exercises out in California.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out here, man. One of the shows we did for this year is Black Mako of the Abyss, and that was filmed just off Catalina.
Yeah,
Giant Mako
I just
show.
got off with Kendall, so
Yeah, the big. Oh, cool. Yeah, Kendall's awesome.
yeah, she was great to talk to. But leading into that, do you ever look back and feel the shark ever gave you more than it took from you?
Uh, I wouldn't say it's the shark that did that. I would say that it's me that did that. The shark gave me an opportunity to discover who I really am, and gave me an opportunity to reinvent myself. But it took a lot, and I would say that it was more the military that actually gave me the ability to overcome something like that. And you know what? A lot of it was fear. I achieved a lot because I was so afraid that I was going to lose my career. And so I used that fear as a very powerful motivator to make me go train, to make me resilient enough that I wouldn't slide into depression and PTSD and things like that. So, not the shark. Bull sharks are not my favorite shark. It took my hand, it took my leg, and fortunately, I don't know, I'm too stupid to know something's wrong, and I just kept cracking on.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get back into the water after all that did go down?
Man, the day my stitches and staples were out, I was down at Bondi Beach with two of my mates trying to surf on one leg.
And how'd that turn out?
3 months is a long time for a Navy diver to be out of the water.
Oh, I'm sure.
And once you come that close to death, there's nothing left to be afraid of. So I was like, what's the chance of it happening twice? Probably pretty good if you work on Shark Week, though.
Hey, I mean, you got to live life every day like it's your last.
Absolutely.
So one of the big ones I wanted to ask you too is you've obviously been diving with sharks for well over a decade now, it seems. If someone were a little hesitant on diving with sharks, is there a species you think is best for someone to maybe start with?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you guys call them the sand tigers. They're big, they're scary, but they're big puppy dogs. They're not interested in humans. Their mouths aren't big enough to attack us, even though their bodies are huge. There's so many species of shark that are not dangerous. With over 500 different species, we're really only worrying about the big three: the great white, the tiger, the bull. But the shark attributed to most bites in America, especially, are the tiny little black tip reef sharks that
Yeah.
swim up and down the East Coast, biting people as they go.
Yeah, I did know that one because, I mean, what you said makes sense because I know also the sand tiger's not ever been recorded for a human fatality either.
Same as a hammerhead.
Yeah. And then I was thinking too, maybe if it's more accessible, I'm in the Midwest, so I'm in Ohio. Maybe
Uh,
for people around us, do you think it's maybe a good idea? The Atlanta Aquarium has the opportunity to dive with whale sharks. obviously gentle giants aren't going to
Personally,
bite you.
I think of them as fish jails. I don't think those gigantic, majestic beasts should be locked in a tank, no matter how big it is, because they travel hundreds of miles in their natural lives. And then all of a sudden, you've jammed it in this little perspex tank as if it's some sort of psychotic prisoner locked away in a dungeon. And I think that's one of the most horrible things you could do.
I never even thought about it like that. So yeah,
I
that's
love my fish and my sharks in the ocean.
I'm with you there. Yeah, I've actually gotten in a little bit of trouble on a tour guide in
Yeah.
Jamaica one time. I saw a little like maybe 6 foot Caribbean reef shark, and I was like, "It's 12 feet of water." I probably stayed about 20 feet away, just wanting to get a closer look. The tour guide was not happy with me.
That's fair, man. We get way closer than that.
I
I
was
run
gonna say,
I run trips to the Bahamas. I take people diving with great hammerheads and tiger sharks every year. We get the Caribbean reef sharks. We got the nurse sharks. We do cage diving alongside the dock with the bull sharks. So there are opportunities for people from the Midwest or anywhere across America to actually go and do these trips. I had a woman from Germany fly all the way out to Bahamas to come diving with me, and so you can do it if you want it bad enough. You can make it happen.
oh, I've told my wife, once our kids are a little older, I'll be taking a trip because I know she's not getting anywhere near the water with me.
All right, guys trip.
Sounds good to me. um, so then on your special, How to Survive a Shark Attack, obviously there's stuff that goes on behind the scenes we don't see as viewers. What kind of safety precautions are we not seeing? Because it really caught me off guard when you were on the kayak and the shark came out of nowhere and, got your metal arm.
Yeah. So for this show, we did actually try and show you as much of the safety protocols and planning as was interesting and we could fit in the show. So that was very different to what we normally do. Usually we just, go gung ho. But it seemed like a good opportunity to show that sort of stuff. But in saying that, we're dealing with a fairly uncontrollable situation with wild animals. And so there's only so much you can do. When I fell off the kayak, we had people at standby ready to jump in and come and get me if necessary, which you saw they actually did have to do. But I was also wearing head to toe chainmail. But I didn't remember that when they started biting me. So I got pretty scared.
I'm sure it's an easy thing to forget, especially with your past.
Dude, I'm in 30 pounds of chainmail. I've got no flippers on. I've got clothes over the top of that, a wetsuit under that. I've got my weightlifting arm with a hook on it that's useless for swimming, and I got a kayak paddle in the other hand. I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I'm like, I can't swim.
I think one of the best parts you guys did in that, outside of the importance of that episode, was showing the bloopers of you at the end trying to figure out how to use the paddle.
I didn't know they were going to put that in there, and all the blood, and yeah, that was funny. I love it when they do that. That shows
That was great.
kind of the human side behind it.
I guess we'll wrap this up because we're coming close to time. In Air Jaws, the hunt for Colossus this year, I remember Colossus till, since I've been watching Shark Week, but he's getting close to 30 probably. Is there any concern there that you guys may not find him again?
There's always a concern. When we go to the Bahamas, we know all the sharks. We know Emma, we know Queen, we know Gaia, we know all these different sharks, Joker. There's always a concern that when we don't see them for a season, something's happened. Someone's caught them, they've died. So we do always worry about that. And Colossus hadn't been seen in 10 years. And so this was a kind of roll of the dice. Fortunately, they had me to use as bait. So did we find him? Did we not? Did I nearly die again?
A little mishap on the shark sled.
It's a good time, though.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time today, man. This has been amazing.
Cheers, Connor. Have a good one, man.
You as well.